Maybe that's not going anywhere. So, coming into class, first thing, we want to take a look at posture for sitting. So you have a blanket there. You can take your blanket and fold it so it has some height. And as you sit down on it, put yourself into a cross-legged position. Notice that your hips are now just same level as your knees. Or maybe the hips are a little bit higher, which allows your spine to come up nice and long. And with the hands resting on your thighs or in your lap, figure out what's comfortable for you. And let your breath come in and out through your nose. And what we're looking for specifically is to find a way to give yourself some self-inquiry. So we're looking to connect to sensations that are happening inside you, not outside you, that keeps your mind really active. You want to be able to let the thinking mind start to go to ease. So this yoga class is designed to be able to give you some skills to be able to employ whenever you come to a place in your life where your situation is uncomfortable or stressful. Then you call on your yoga practice and your breathing practice to give you a little bit of something to calm you down, something to bring you back to the present moment instead of having your thoughts in yesterday or tomorrow. Does that make sense? So while you're sitting, you can allow your gaze to either drop towards the floor without dropping your chin, or you can close your eyes and find out what's comfortable for you. When you close your eyes, you kind of eliminate a little bit more input, and it brings your attention inside. So while you're sitting, the spine is long, the crown of your head reaches tall, and the breath is in and out through your nose. So let the thinking mind come into the present moment and go to ease by taking your focus to the inhale and the exhale and the sensations that you feel with that. So when you inhale, you should notice a cool dryness in the nostrils and sinuses. When you exhale, it becomes just a bit warmer. When you inhale, the belly opens out, so you're using the diaphragm to breathe. When you exhale, the belly softly contracts back. So inhaling and expanding. And exhaling, softening and contracting. So you're not really making much effort. Let the breath be your normal rhythm, your normal way of breathing, and just notice sensations. Find out what it is you connect to. And when your mind starts to go to another thought and take you away from what you're doing, just notice that that's happened and bring yourself back to the sensations in your nostrils and your belly. First yoga skill, attention to the breath. So allowing the breath to bring you into the present moment, thinking about what's happening just now. Notice that the next hour belongs to just you. So all of your attention can be on what's happening with the breath while you move. Maybe set an intention for your practice this morning, whether you're in the classroom or at home, and allow that hour to be yours. So shut off the ringers of the phone, allow yourself to have some quiet space, maybe a little privacy, and bring your attention into yourself. So continue the breathing. The intention, inviting this hour to belong to you. And then softly bring the hands to prayer pose just in front of your heart. So push the palms together, let them settle right in front of your heart. And with the eyes still closed, drop your chin towards your chest, keeping spine tall, let your chin come to the chest and stretch open the back of your neck. On the next inhale, reach your chin towards the sky. So if you keep the teeth together and take the chin high, you get a nice stretch in the neck, down into the chest and the throat. Exhaling, chin comes back to the chest. Inhaling, chin reaches high. And exhaling down. Inhaling up. So find a rhythm with your breathing, incorporating the movements. And be aware of the sensations that you feel as you take your chin high. And bring the chin back to the chest. Inhaling up, stretches at the front of the neck, chest, and throat. Exhaling, chin down, stretches at the back of the neck, and in between the shoulders. Just 2 more times. Inhaling up, and exhaling down, and again, and again. And then open the eyes, looking down at your thumbs. On your next inhale, follow your thumbs as you take your fingers towards the sky. Stretch open the elbows, get a nice long stretch in the sides of your body. Can you bring the elbows and arms back next to your ears? So let the head come to center, eyes forward. Reach a little higher with the fingertips, and then turn the palms away from each other, and on the exhale, let the arms float down. Fingertips tap the floor. Inhaling, palms turn up, and come all the way back up. And exhaling, float the arms down. So you find a rhythm with this movement, incorporating the breath, allowing the inhale to take you all the way up, and the exhale brings you softly back down. So as you breathe and continue to move, can you draw your attention into the sensations that are happening in your shoulders and the tops of your arms? So simply noticing. The next time you inhale up, press the palms together overhead and lace your fingers. And then turn the palms towards the sky. So get a nice long stretch in both sides of the body. Press your knees towards the floor. And feel the energy that moves into the hips, the waist, the back. Draw the lower belly in a little bit. A nice long stretch, inhale, and on the exhale, separate the fingers and let the arms softly float down. So we're sitting up on a blanket. We'll lean forward and take the blanket out. And feel your sit bones against the floor. So the flesh of the buttocks settles down on the floor. And whatever way your ankles are crossed, change them. So now you notice a little bit of something going on in the ankles and the knees. Hands are on the knees. You're going to let your fingers drop down over your kneecaps. And on the inhale, you're going to take your heart forward and your eyes to the sky. Elbows kind of reach back. On the exhale, round your back, draw the belly in, bring your chin to your chest, and curve the spine. Inhaling, come forward with the heart, eyes to the sky. Exhaling, round the back, chin to chest. Inhale, this is cat-cow breathing, but we're doing it in a sitting posture. So exhaling, round, and inhaling, arch forward. Keep the rhythm going. Find your breath. Find your movement. Allow it to be fluid so that there's a flow and you're not stopping or starting at the beginning and the end of the breath. And again, while you practice, breath comes in and out through the nose unless we instruct for something different. And exhaling round. On the next inhale, come up to a nice tall sit. Sometimes it helps to know what's happening with the breath. We inhale and exhale through the nose for a specific reason. There's a little bit of a vibration at the top of the mouth. Just above that, just beneath the brain, is the endocrine system. The hippocampus, okay, I'm getting tongue-tied. The hippocampus, the pineal gland, and the pituitary gland. There we go. That's my anatomy. So when you have that little vibration from breathing in and out through the nose, those glands get stimulated and they send hormones and chemicals through the body that allow you to relax and settle down. So there's a reason for this to be a skill. So as you sit with the hands on the knees, come up nice and tall again. Bring your thumbs to your shoulders. Inhale the arms straight up. And on the exhale, we're going to twist to the left. So turn your body to the left. Take your left hand to the floor behind you. Your right hand comes to the floor right in front of your ankles. So when you press into the floor with your fingertips, the spine comes up nice and tall. Press the knees towards the floor. Draw the belly in and move into a twist from the waist through the shoulders, the chin, looking towards the wall behind you with your eyes. Be here for a count of 4, 3, 2. And on that last one, come back to center, thumbs to your shoulders. Inhale the arms up, and we're going to take it to the other side. Exhale, turn the torso. Press the knees towards the floor. One hand behind, one in front. Sit up tall. Crown of your head reaches towards the sky. And on the exhale, twist from the waist through the ribs to the right side. Shoulders, chin, and eyes move into the twist. So feel the foundation of it, pressing the knees towards the floor. Draw the lower belly in to get a little deeper into the twist. And be here for 4, 3, 2, and last one. Inhale, come back to center. Thumbs to your shoulders. Inhale the arms all the way up, and then turn the palms away from each other and exhale. Let the hands float down. Leave your left hand on the floor. Inhale the right arm out and up. So we get nice and long with that right side, keeping the crown towards the sky. And reach as long as you can out of that shoulder. Palm faces center. And on the exhale, you're going to side bend to the left. So drop the ear towards the left shoulder. Let that right arm come up next to your ear. Draw the belly in. And soften that left elbow underneath you. Good posture. Stay here for another breath. Exhaling, can you take the side bend a little bit deeper, keeping the knees and hips towards the floor? And then inhale, float back up. Exhale the right hand down, and we'll take it to the second side. Inhale the left arm out and up. Reach tall with that arm, and on the exhale, side bend to the right. So soften the right elbow underneath you. Let the bottom ribs come down towards the hip. Left arm floats towards the ear and overhead. Nice deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Go a little further into the side bend. And then inhale, come up. Exhale that hand down. Inhaling both arms out and up. And then exhale. Turn the palms towards the floor. Let the arms come down. We'll side bend again. Inhaling, right arm up. Exhaling, drop to the left. Press the knees towards the floor. Let the eyes stay pointed forward. And drop the left ear towards the left shoulder. So you're relaxing the neck, allowing that left elbow underneath you to be nice and soft. And on the exhale, go a little bit deeper into it. And then inhale, float back up. Exhale the right hand down. Inhale the left arm out and up. And exhale, side bend to the right. See what you're feeling while you're here. As you press the knees towards the floor, draw the lower belly in a little bit. And as you exhale, go a little further into that side bend. And notice what's happening in those nice wide open left side ribs. Keeping attention on sensation. Inhale, come up. And exhale, let that hand float down. Take both legs and take them straight out in front of you. Draw your toes back towards you and feel the stretch in the back of the legs immediately. When we sit up nice and tall, you want hoping for 90 degrees in the hips. A lot of times the back is tight and the hamstrings are tight, so you may notice that you round a little bit. If that's the case, you can put that blanket back underneath your sit bones, but you have a good posture. So sitting up nice and tall, let your elbows rest at your ribs, just dropping down towards the hips. Keep the toes drawn back and press the back of the knees towards the floor. So notice the stretch in the back of the legs, maybe even in the low back. Nice deep breath in and a deep breath out. This is a posture. It's called staff pose. So while you're here, feel the body grounded into the floor. Notice the breath. Draw the lower belly in a little bit. See if you can bring your ribs up away from your hips so the spine comes up a little taller. And let the breath be easy. So we're doing a lot with posture, but your breath should still be a normal rhythm, whatever works for you. Deep inhale, belly opens. Exhale, belly draws back in. And then from here, you're going to bring your thumbs to your shoulders. Inhale the arms straight up. And on the exhale, we'll move into that same kind of twist that we did with the legs crossed. So keep the feet level with each other. And we're going to turn from the waist to the left side. Left hand comes to the floor behind you. Right hand comes to the outside of that left knee. So that's your torque. When you sit up nice and tall, keep the spine long, draw the belly in, and move into your twist to the left side. But you might notice that if the hips are tight, that left heel starts to draw back a little bit. Can you send it forward to keep the hips and feet parallel? And be here for a count of 4, 3, 2. You can go a little deeper into the twist if you choose to. And then inhale, come back on 1. Thumbs to your shoulders. Inhale the arms up, and we're moving into the twist on the opposite side. So right hand to the floor behind you, left hand to the outside of the right knee. Send the right heel forward, keeping the hips parallel. Inhale tall, exhale draw the belly in and move into your twist. So let the shoulders settle down the back. Allow the crown of the head to reach towards the sky. Nice deep breath in, and draw the belly in. Exhale, maybe go a little deeper into the twist. And release it. Come back to center. And hands to the thighs, coming back to staff pose. So while you're here, rock back into your fingers or the palms of your hands and just give your ankles and your hips a little bit of a break. It creates a lot of tension drawing the toes back. And sometimes the front of the legs and the ankles can get a little bit of fatigue. So we want to be able to make sure that we give a rest in between all the working. And this is just a very simple warm-up. So coming into a tall sitting, again, we're going to inhale nice and tall, and then slide your hands down to the floor on either side of your thighs. When you sit up nice and tall, press the hands down into the floor and hinging at the hips, keeping a nice flat back, you're going to just draw the torso forward a little bit. So the back stays nice and flat. We want to make sure that we're not reaching with the chin, and we're not reaching with the crown of the head. Keeping the back nice and straight, shoulders down the back, elbows kind of move back behind the ribs. So press the palms into the floor, and just imagine that you're pulling the floor back towards you and give you an easy fulcrum to come from. Nice deep breath in. On the exhale, if you can take it a little bit deeper, you're welcome to, but keep the back nice and flat. If you start to round, you've gone a little too far, so shoulders stay down the back. And then release it, back up to sitting. You're going to take your feet to one side and bring yourself to table pose. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees wide underneath the hips, so there's a little space, and soften your feet behind you. I think I'm going to move up so you can see without having to turn around. So little adjustments. First class, everything always changes. So while you're here, find a flat back. So to do that, you want to draw the lower belly in and let the low back get nice and straight. So if I was going to serve a cup of tea, set it down on your waist, it wouldn't spill. So we're pressing into the floor with the hands, keeping the crown of the head forward as if you're a turtle coming out of the shell. So we want to make sure that the shoulders are not up near the ears. So the shoulders move down the back, lower belly draws in, and the back is nice and flat. On your next inhale, take your right leg straight back out of the hip and reach towards the back wall with your heel so the toes point towards the floor. We're moving into some balance posture. So here's a modification. If you want to turn your left toes under to keep your balance a little better, you're welcome to do that. While you're keeping the right leg back, you're going to take the left arm forward. Thumb faces the sky. You get a nice long stretch. You can reach in two different directions and keep the belly drawn in. So inhale, reach. Exhale, pull the belly in. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pull the belly in. One more inhale. And then exhale, bring the hand and knee back to the mat. Drop your hips over to the right side. Just give a little stretch in the top of that leg bone. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, drop your hips over to the left a little bit. Inhale, back to center. Turn your right toes under if that's needed. And take the left leg straight back. And then bring the right arm forward. Thumb faces the sky. Draw the lower belly in. Inhale and reach in two different directions. Exhale, pull the belly in. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pull the belly in. Inhale, reach. And exhale, hand and knee back to the mat. And then we move into cat-cow breathing in table pose. So on the inhale, let your belly drop towards the floor. Send your shoulders down your back. Your eyes come forward and up. This is cow. Exhaling, pull the belly in. Draw your chin to your chest and push the floor away with your knees and hands. This is cat. Inhaling, reverse to cow. Exhaling, round to cat. And find a rhythm. So inhale and exhale. Beautiful. Inhale and exhale. And reverse. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Come to a flat back. So again, we're in table pose. Shoulders down the back, lower belly draws in, feet are soft behind you. And from here, we're going to do something called thread the needle. So bring your right hand towards center, right underneath your face. So just across the center. And then the left hand comes underneath your heart, palm faces up. Yes. Your eyes are on your left thumb. You're going to inhale and follow the left thumb as you take it out into a nice long twist. And then exhale, thread the arm underneath you, slide it across the mat, and set your left shoulder and your left ear down on the floor. And then inhale, come all the way open again, eyes to the sky, follow that thumb. Exhale, thread it under, shoulder and ear to the floor. Inhale, come open. And exhale, come under. We're going to do 3 more. Inhale, open. Exhale, under. Beautiful. Inhale, open. And exhale, under. And last one. Inhale, open. Exhale. Set that shoulder down on the floor. And then you can take it a little bit deeper if you want to bring the right arm straight up. You get a nice long stretch in the back, on the top of that shoulder. Let your palm face knee. Nice deep breath in, and a deep breath out. And then take that right hand to the floor. Bring yourself back up, nice open twist. And exhale the left hand down to the mat. So now we change sides. The left hand comes towards center, the right hand underneath the heart. Follow the thumb as you take the arm out and up. And then exhale, thread it through. Right shoulder, right ear to the floor. Inhale, come open. And exhale, under. Inhale, open. And exhale, under. And give yourself 3 more. Inhale, nice and long. Exhale, bring the shoulder to the floor and take it a little bit deeper, opening that left arm towards the sky. So you can take the left hand off the mat and up towards the ceiling. Nice opening in the back. Nice deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then set that hand back down. Inhale, come open for 1 more twist. And exhale. Both hands to the mat. And then you're going to bring your big toes together behind you. Open your knees a little bit towards the sides of the mat. As you press your hips back towards your heels, you come into what we call extended child's pose. So walk the hands forward, set the elbows down, and let your forehead drop to the floor right between your upper arms. And pressing your hips back towards your heels, release the elbows to the mat, and let your shoulders soften. So this is extended child's pose. Child's pose should be a resting posture. If at any point you find out that it's not comfortable, you can cross your arms and set your forehead on your forearms. Or you can put a block under your forehead. If you take yourself to complete child's pose, you're going to bring your thumbs down next to your ankles. Let your elbows drop to the outside of your knees, forehead to the mat or a block. And then let your shoulders drop open so your wings get wide across the upper back. And let yourself take your attention to your breath. So while you're here, inhaling and exhaling through your nose, you'll notice that the ribs open towards the thighs. The Can you feel your breath in your back? So again, we're focusing on sensations on the inside, trying to stay out of critical mind, not judging anything that we're doing, finding that we're doing something new. So keep yourself in beginner's mind. Just be curious about what you're feeling. Nice deep breath in, and a deep breath out. And then come again to table pose. So hands to the floor, knees underneath your hips. Come up into all fours. And then be mindful that your knees are not too far back and your hands are not too far forward. You might have kind of 90 degrees in the shoulders and hips. Feet are soft behind you. As you inhale, the right leg straight back. On the exhale, you're going to bring that knee in and tuck your chin to your chest. So tuck. Inhale, come open. And exhale, tuck. Inhale, open. Exhale, tuck. This time, inhale, open and take your left arm forward. On the exhale, tuck and bring the elbow towards the knee. And then inhale, open. Exhale, tuck. Two more. Inhale, open. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale nice and long. And then exhale your hand and knee back to the mat. Please deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Take that same movement to the second side. Inhale the left leg back, and exhale, bring the knee in, tuck the chin to the chest. Inhale, open. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, open. Exhale, tuck. Add the arm. Inhale, left leg back, right arm forward. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, open. Exhale, tuck. Three more. Inhale, open. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Last nice long stretch. Hand and knee back to the mat. Please deep breath in and a deep breath out. So from here, walk your hands forward just about 2 or 3 inches. Turn your toes under behind you. And on your next exhale, you're going to take your hips towards the sky, your heels towards the floor, and then inhale and come stand up. So the ears should be right between the upper arms. And this is weight bearing for the shoulders. So spread your palms nice and wide. Press the knuckles of your thumb and index finger down into the floor to give yourself some stability. Inhale up onto your toes nice and high. And then on the exhale, melt the heels down towards the floor. And since we're stretching the hamstrings for the first time, bend one knee and then the other. So kind of walk the dog, pedal your feet a little bit. And feel the opening at the back of the ankles, the calves, behind the knees. And on the next inhale, come up onto your toes nice and high. On the exhale, melt the heels down towards the floor and then soften the knees a little bit to take care of your hamstrings. So a lot of times hamstrings are really tight. When we try to straighten the knees, the heels come up a little higher. You want your sit bones to be up towards the sky. And let your gaze come towards the floor right between your feet. That brings your ears between your upper arms. Inhale up onto your toes nice and high. One more time. On the exhale, set your knees down on the mat. Soften your feet. And you're going to bring your right foot between your hands. So we're coming into a lunge, but it's low. So soften that left foot behind you. And then bring your hands to your right thigh. So the torso comes up nice and tall, shoulder blades down the back. And as you inhale, you come up nice and tall. On the exhale, you bend that right knee and feel the stretch in the front of that left thigh. Inhale, come up. Exhale, sink. Inhale up. Exhale, sink. And 4 more. Find a rhythm and notice what you're feeling. So at any point, you want to be able to notice a stretch, but not a strain. So one more time, come up. Exhale, sink. And then from here, set your hands down. Take that right knee back. And then bring the left foot forward. So we'll come into that same stretch to the opposite side. Right foot soft behind you. Inhale, and your hands come to that right or left thigh. Nice tall spine. Inhale up. And exhale. Bend the right knee. Sink the pelvis straight down. Inhale up. And exhale, sink. So imagine one of those merry-go-round horses on a pole. We want to keep the spine nice and tall, so we're not leaning forward, but we're moving with the breath. Exhale down. Inhale up for 3 more. And on that next exhale, the hands come to the floor. Bring that left knee back. Turn the toes under, set the hands down on the mat, and then float to down dog. Pressing into the floor. Push the floor forward and down with your hands. Let the heels melt down towards the mat. Ears right between the upper arms. And on your next inhale, you're going to look forward towards your thumbs so your head comes through. And then bring the right foot to the front of the mat. And then bring the left foot to the front of the mat. And we release into a forward fold posture. So your eyes look between your knees. Relax any tension in the abdomen. You can bring one hand to each elbow. Let the neck release. Let the shoulders release. So the upper body kind of gets heavy like that ringer inside the belt. You can feel any letting go of tension in the ribs. And notice the breath is a bit restricted. Going near the thighs, not so much room to breathe, but feel the breath moving into your back. So as you inhale, the ribs will expand. The lower back expands, and you rise up just a little bit. Exhale, and you drop into it a little deeper. Soften the knees to take care of your hamstrings. And then we're going to reverse this wind up. So sit down into an imaginary chair. Take your arms straight out to the sides. Press into the floor. Come all the way up to standing. Palms together overhead. And on the exhale, your hands come to your heart. So nice deep breath in and a deep breath out. Release the hands down next to your sides. So the palms face forward. And we're standing in mountain pose. So look down at your feet. You want your feet to be parallel with each other. So imagine that the heel is dropping right behind the second and third toes. And there's some space between your feet. Because as women, we have a wider pelvis. With men, you can bring the toes together if that's comfortable for you, but sometimes it's nice to just have some space. It gives you more room to move. So while the feet are parallel with each other, hands rest down next to the thighs, palms forward, the crown of the head reaches straight up out of the spine. So draw your lower belly in, and imagine that there's a plumb line that drops straight down through the crown of the head, through the pelvic, in front of the spine, all the way down between hips, and drops to the floor just between the ankles. You want your weight to be balanced over top of the arches of the feet. So without lifting the heels or the toes, rock your weight forward onto the balls of the feet. Keep the heels down. Notice what that feels like. And then rock back towards the heels, keeping the toes down. Notice what that feels like. And then find your happy medium over the arches of the feet. Draw the kneecaps up into your thighs. Draw the lower belly in. And then without too much strain or effort, can you let the spine come up a little taller, creating just a little more space between the ribs and the tops of the hips. So the breath is deep and smooth, standing in mountain pose, and your gaze is forward, just in front of your face, at a spot on the wall. Nice deep breath in and deep breath out. Mountain pose is a practice in and of itself. So it brings you into the moment. Feel the feet pressing into the floor. Notice the texture of the mat that you're standing on. Press your toes down into the mat. And then on the inhale, raise your toes off the mat. Exhale, press them down. Inhale, raise. Exhale, press down. Inhale, raise. Exhale, softly settle the toes on the mat without pushing. And then inhale, sweep the arms out to the sides and up. Palms face each other as you reach your fingers towards the sky. And on an exhale, you're going to soften the knees, hinge at the hips, bring the arms straight out of your shoulders, and drop into your forward fold. So fingers drop towards the floor, eyes look between your knees. Bring your hands to your shins. So the heel of your hands comes right into the kneecaps, fingers drop over the shin bone. Straighten the elbows, and let your eyes come forward, so we come into a flat back. Nice deep breath in, and on the exhale, go back to forward fold. Soften your knees, and step your right foot back for runner's lunge. So your fingertips are in the floor. Come come up onto the fingertips and cone your hands. It gives you a little bit more length in your arms. And then bend the left knee a little deeper. Keep the right knee straight. And as you inhale, look forward. Nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, step the right foot back to the front. Coming again to forward fold. And then soften the knees, arms out to the sides, reverse your swan dive, come all the way up, palms together overhead, exhale, bring your hands to your heart. We're going to do that again. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. And then exhale, soften the knees, hinge at the hips, drop into forward fold. Hands to your shins, straighten the elbows, look forward, inhale. Exhale, forward fold, soften the knees, step the left foot back. Runner's lunge on the opposite side. So up on the fingertips, bend the right knee, keep the left knee straight. And then inhale, look forward. And on the exhale, step again to the front. Release to your forward fold. Reverse your swan dive, arms out. Come all the way up, palms together. Exhale, hands to your heart. And then bring yourself back again to mountain pose. So we've moved through the beginning of something called a sun salutation. It will take you forward and backward on the mat with all kinds of range of motion in the body. So if you're open to that, if you're strong enough to it, always be mindful that you want to be moving into a stretch, not a strain. And if anything starts to hurt, you can take yourself back to child's pose. So you'll bend the knees, send the hips back, and let your forehead come to the mat. So inhale, sweep the arms out and up. On the exhale, soften the knees, hinge at the hips, drop into forward fold. Eyes look between the knees. Hands to your shins. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Soften the knees. Take the right foot back for runner's lunge. And then bend the left knee. Inhale the eyes forward. On the exhale, take the left foot back and come to down dog. And then inhale, come forward to a plank pose. So shoulder blades down and back, belly draws in, press back through your heels so the body's nice and flat. Body. If you're strong enough, bend the elbows towards the back of the room and slowly lower the torso flat to the floor. Legs together, toes pointed, elbows stay close, hands planted. Inhale, you send the shoulders down the back and peel the heart and face off the mat. Come into a low cobra. And then from here, keep your chin down and come into low cobra. Let the crown of your head reach forward. So come up a little bit. Press into the floor. You can look at me. There you go. And the crown of your head comes forward, so your chin draws in a little bit. Eyes are on the mat. From here, turn your toes under and press back to down dog. So hips go towards the sky, heels come towards the floor. On your next inhale, look towards your thumb so your head comes through, and then step the right foot to the front. Runner's lunge on this side. Bend the right knee. Inhale, eyes forward. Exhale, step to the front. Release to your forward fold. Reverse your swan dive. Come all the way up. Palms together overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. And then we have to do the other side. So inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, soften your knees. Swan dive into that forward fold. Hands to your shins. Inhale, look forward to a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Soften your knees. Step your left foot back. And then inhale, bend the right knee and come to lunge. Exhale, step back to down dog. Hips to the sky. And deep breath in and deep breath out. Inhale, come forward to plank pose. So keep the hands planted. If you need to get a little longer to get your back flat, you can wiggle your feet. Nice deep breath in. From here, bend the elbows to the back wall. Slowly lower the torso. And then keep the hands right where they are. Send your shoulder blades down and back. Legs together, toes pointed. Inhale to that low cobra. So when you come up into low cobra, the crown of your head reaches forward, and we play with this a little bit because you want the muscles in your back to be doing the work, not your arms. So you take your arms straight out of your shoulders without losing your pose. And deep breath in. And the exhale, bring the hands back where they belong. Turn your toes under and press back to down dog. So So as you look forward towards your thumbs, inhale. And on the exhale, step the left foot through. Lunge on the opposite side. Eyes forward, shoulders down back. Nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, the right foot comes to the front. Release to your forward fold. Soften your knees. Arms out to the sides. Come all the way up. Palms together overhead. Exhale. Hands to your heart. You've done one session of sun salutation. So we take some of those postures and we can capitalize on them and move through what we call a warrior series. So while you're standing in mountain pose, the crown of your head reaches up. Bring your hands to prayer pose in front of your heart. Nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, soften your knees and step your left foot back. Not quite as far as the lunge, but you want the whole inside of that left foot to come to the floor. So maybe the foot behind you is going to be at about a 45-degree angle. That's it. So when you set that foot down, sometimes the hips turn to the left side. So we want to be able to get the hips parallel with the front of the mat. So put your hands on your hips. You're going to bend the right knee and draw the right thigh back a little bit. Let the left hip come forward. So now the torso, the shoulders and hips, are facing the front of the mat. Your eyes are forward. So with that right knee bent just a little bit, can you keep the left knee straight behind you and press the little toe side and the outside angle of that left foot into the floor. Draw the lower belly in. Bring your thumbs to your shoulders and inhale your arms straight up. This is warrior one. Nice deep breath in and a deep breath out. Pretty often the most common complaint is while we hang out here and I'm talking, bend your right knee a little bit deeper. And then we start noticing that the right thigh wants to scream a little bit. So with yourself to balance, you want to press into that left leg behind you. Tighten the left butt cheek a little bit. And that gives the right thigh a little bit of break. Nice deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Put the hands together overhead. And on the exhale, your hands come to your heart. And you step back to the front of the mat. Nice deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Take yourself back to mountain pose. So after you collect between one side and the other, take the posture to the other side. Hands come to your heart. Palms together. Nice deep breath in, tall spine. Exhaling, soften your knees and step your right foot back. Bend the left knee. And then put your hands on your hips and adjust. So you draw the left thigh back. Let the right hip come forward. And keep that right knee nice and straight. So you want to have enough space between your feet that you look like you're on two separate railroad tracks. So bring your right foot out this way. Step over here. And take the heel back a little further. The heel goes back. Yes. So you have that foot at 45 degrees. And if you look down, can you see that there's some space between your feet? If you bring one foot behind the other, you're going to limit your base of support. So we want some width so your hips have space. So when you bend that left knee, the hips point forward, the right knee is straight behind you. Bring your thumbs to your shoulders and inhale the arms straight up. So draw the lower belly in. And then notice what's happening in that left thigh. Is it starting to shake a little bit? It gets tired. So bend the knee a little deeper and then press the right leg into the floor behind you. Tighten the right leg cheek. Palms face each other while the hands are overhead. That gives your shoulders a place to be. So while you're here, inhale a little bit higher. And on the exhale, the hands come together. And you step back to the front of your mat. Nice deep breath in. And a deep breath out, come back to mountain pose. So you've moved through warrior one. There's warrior two, and warrior three, and reverse warrior. So we can play with all of those. We don't have a lot of time for this class, but maybe we'll save some of it for next week. So let's go through what we already did. Just a little review. Standing in mountain pose. Nice deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Inhaling, sweep the arms out and up. Exhaling, soften the knees. Hinge at the hips and drop into forward fold. Eyes in between your knees. Hands to your shins. Inhale, straighten the elbows for flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Soften the knees. Step the right foot back for lunge. Inhale, look forward. And then exhale, step back to down dog.
settle the feet. Let the ears be right between the upper arms. Nice posture. Eyes look back between the feet. So that gives your neck a little space. Inhale, foot forward to your plank pose. So wiggle the feet a little bit. Let the hands stay planted. And on your exhale, if the back is an issue and you want to set your knees down, keep the hips straight. Soften the knees, bend the elbows to the back wall, and lower down to the floor. And then inhale to a low cobra. So the legs together, toes pointed. Reach your toes towards the back edge of your mat. And let your shoulders come down your back for your cobra. And then test the muscles in your back by taking the arms out to the sides. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, bring the hands back under the shoulders. Turn the toes under and float back to down dog. So hips to the sky. Inhale, look towards your thumbs. Exhale, bring the right foot forward. Nice deep breath in and deep breath out. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step to the front. Release the forward fold. Reverse your swan dive, arms out and up. Palms together. Exhale, hands to your heart. Come back to mountain pose before we move to the second side. And inhale out and up. Exhale, soften into forward fold. Hands to your shins. Inhale to flat back, eyes forward. Beautiful. Exhale, forward fold. Soften your knees. Step the left foot back. Inhale for lunge. So bend the right knee. Exhale, step the right foot back. Inhale, float forward to your plank pose. Draw the belly in. The butt down, you don't want to be in a half-assed down dog. And then bend the elbows to the back wall. Slowly lower the torso. Legs together, toes pointed. Inhale to low cobra. Turn the toes under, beautiful. Exhale, back, down dog. Inhale, look towards your thumbs. Exhale, step the left foot through. Inhale for lunge. Exhale, back to forward. Reverse your swan dive, inhale up. Palms together overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. And then come back to mountain pose. So while you're here, feel your breath. Feel the feet grounded into the floor. Notice the expansion in the belly with the inhale and the soft contraction with the exhale. Can you feel the soft coolness in the air moving through the nostrils on the inhale and the warmth and exhale. And then bring the hands to prayer pose. Inhale nice and tall. And exhale, soften the knees. And step the right foot back, bending the left knee. So coming into warrior one. Hands to your hips. Draw the left thigh back and the right hip forward. Straighten the right knee. Thumbs to your shoulders. Inhale the arms up. Nice deep breath in. Deep breath out. Bending that left knee a little bit deeper. Sink the torso down. Keep the spine nice and tall. And press your weight into that right leg behind you. Taking some pressure off the left thigh. Nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, hands come back to the heart. And step forward to the front of your mat. Take that posture to the second side. Nice deep breath in. And deep breath out. And then inhaling tall, exhaling, soften the knees, and step the left foot back. Find your foundation. Bend the right knee. Sink the pelvis down, hands come to your hips. Draw the right thigh back into that hip. Let the left hip point come forward a little bit. Keep the left knee as straight as you can. And then bend the right knee a little deeper. Bring your thumbs to your shoulders. Inhale your arms straight up. Let your gaze be forward. So you want your jaw to be kind of level. Not looking up, not looking down. Eyes forward. And deep breath in. And deep breath out. Find your foundation, find your breath. And then palms together, hands come back to your heart, and step forward to the front of your mat. And come to mountain pose. Beautiful. You can come down onto your mat. Allow yourself to face the wall. And just sit with your legs straight out in front of you.
We're going to come into a little bit of a twist before we come down onto the floor for relaxation. So a nice deep breath in and a deep breath out. You can bring your right foot to the inside of your left thigh. And then press that right knee down towards the floor. And we have blocks and blankets next to us, so if the right knee doesn't come all the way to the floor, put a block underneath it and press down into the block. Draw your left toes back towards you. Sit up nice and tall. Bring your thumbs to your shoulders. Inhale the arms out. And on the exhale, bring the left hand to the floor behind you. The right hand comes to the outside of that left knee. So it's the same thing we did at the beginning with both legs straight forward. But now you're going to press your right knee into that block. And then as you draw your belly in, twist. And look over that left shoulder behind you. So keep the spine nice and tall. And on the exhale, go a little further into your twist. Shoulders down the back. And then release it. Come back to center. Put one hand on the floor on either side of that knee. So you're kind of up here, leaning forward just a little bit. We're going to do our best to keep a flat back. And as you press into the floor, pull the floor back towards you and come out over that left thigh. Pressing the right knee down towards that block or floor. So if it's easy where you go, find yourself forward a little bit. And maybe take it a little further. Keep the crown of your head reaching away from the tailbone. So you have a nice flat back. So you'd let your shoulders come up a little bit. Send your shoulders down your back. And bring your head up a little bit. So look past your foot. Beautiful. Heart comes forward a little bit. Shoulders down and back. And then walk your hands back towards you. And we'll take that same thing to the other side. So the right leg comes out and the left foot comes in. Block goes underneath the left knee. And here's where you might find out one side is different than the other. My left side is a whole lot more open than my right, so I can take that knee to the floor. Sit up nice and tall. Bring my thumbs to the shoulders. Inhale the arms up. And as I turn to the right, right hand comes to the floor behind me, left hand comes to the outside of the knee. Press the left knee towards the floor and move into my twist. So spine tall. Exhale, go a little further into it. Press the left knee down. Feel what's happening in the twist. And then release it. Come back to center. One hand on either side of that right knee on the floor. So sit up tall. Keep the right toes pulled back towards you. And on the exhale, hinge at the hips and come forward with that flat back. So reaching with the crown of the head. And then walk the hands forward if that's easy. So draw the chin in a little bit. Reach with the crown of your head. Perfect. There you go. That little tiny bit of adjustment makes all the difference. And then when you send your shoulders down your back, you can send your heart forward. So imagine your heart's right behind your chest bone. And send that chest bone towards your knee. Nice deep stretch in the back body. And then walk the hands back towards you. Come back up. And you're going to bend your knees. Take your arms straight out in front of you. And as you round your back, use your abdomen to roll you down onto the floor. And then bend the knees, draw the feet back towards you. And we can windshield wiper a little bit. So open your feet towards the edges of your mat. Hands rest on the floor next to your hips. And just drop your right knee down towards your left ankle. So you feel the stretch in front of that right thigh and all the way up into the hip. Maybe even in the low back, because the right buttock cheek comes up a little bit off the floor. And then bring the right knee back up and drop the left knee in. Feel what's happening. Just stretch the top of that thigh. Maybe a little bit in the low back. Inhale it up. Exhale the right knee down again. Inhale up. And exhale the left knee down. And then inhale back up. Bring your knees together. You have a block close to you. Put it right between your thighs. And walk your feet back so they're underneath your knees. Press your hands into the floor. And on your exhale, pull your belly in and press your low back into the mat. On your inhale, lift your hips. So we're coming into bridge pose. So squeeze into the block. Press your feet into the floor. Lift the hips away from the floor. Let the weight come into your shoulders. And then roll your palms open. Your neck is easy. Your eyes are towards the ceiling. And the work that's happening is in the butt cheek, the hamstrings, the low back. And while you're here, let the breath be easy. So keeping the hips up for another 4, 3, 2, and last one. Roll back down 1 inch at a time. When the hips come to the floor, take the block out. Bring your knees in towards your chest. And then take your arms straight out of your shoulders, so palms face the floor. If you pull the belly in on an exhale, take your knees over towards the left elbow and leave your right shoulder back on the mat. So it may tell you that your shoulders are tight, that your low back is tight. But let gravity take your legs over towards the floor. And then when the knees go to the left, your eyes go to the right. So you get the twist all the way up the spine. And then rest here. So if you're watching me, listen, just keep your knees over to the left. When your eyes come to the right, you're going to stretch all the way up into the base of your skull. On the next inhale, bring your head back to center, and then exhale, bring the knees back up. So we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Nice deep breath in, and on the exhale, pull the belly in and drop the knees towards the right elbow, and the eyes go to the left. So a little spinal twist. Relax the legs. Let the feet drop towards the floor. Let go of any tension in the belly, the low back. The breath should be nice and easy. And then come back to center. The last posture in your yoga class is relaxation. So you're going to take your legs straight out on the mat. Leave some space between your feet, so maybe 10 or 15 inches. Bring your hands down next to your body, but leave some space between the upper arms and the ribs. Turn your palms open, and then very easily just turn your head from one side to the other. Let go of any tension there might be in your neck. And the head comes back to center, and we move into relaxation at the very end of class. So you want your thinking mind to stay at ease. So while you're in relaxation, take your attention to the body resting into the floor. Let the floor support you. So let go of any tension in the jaw. Maybe leave a little space between your teeth. If your eyes are closed, let them rest. Release any tension there might be in the forehead, between the eyebrows, the cheeks. Soften your throat. Allow the shoulders to be heavy against the floor. The arms are relaxed. Palms are soft. Fingers slightly curled. Feel the back body resting against the mat. Releasing tension in the legs, the feet, and the toes. As you rest, be aware of the breath. Inhaling, the belly rises. Exhaling, the belly softly drops back. So if you can keep your attention on the breath, it allows the thinking mind to stay at ease, bringing your focus to whatever's inside you. Sensations of the breath inside the nostrils. Feel the breath moving past the back of your throat. Expanding the lungs, allowing the abdomen to rise. Exhaling, the abdomen softens, and the breath leaves. So with each inhale, you nourish the body. With each exhale, there's a letting go, a release. And for the sake of video, you're welcome to rest in this posture for another 5 or 10 minutes. And as we finish practice, you allow yourself a deeper breath. And begin to move your fingers and toes. Softly bend your knees. side. And cradle your head in your right arm, resting in the side lying for a breath or so. And then press your left hand into the floor right in front of your heart. Bring yourself back up to a sitting posture. Coming back to meditation pose. Legs crossed. Hands rest on the knees. And you bring your spine up nice and tall. If it's helpful to have your blanket to come up onto, gives you a better posture, a little bit more height, taller spine. So coming back, with the eyes still closed, let yourself simply reflect on the practice that you've just had. Nice deep breath in, and a deep breath out. Quietly bring your hands to prayer pose in front of your heart. And simply ask, may all beings be safe. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be happy. May all beings find their freedom. May they know peace. May they walk through the world with ease. We close our practice as we bow to each other. Namaste. Say namaste because the word itself means the best part of me recognizes the best